Hello and welcome back to another final table commentary. Shut up, Brendan. Prebz has an ace and a king. Wattenlos with a queen. Thanks to KalipokerTV, Poker Replays for the replay. If you want to, you can go check out the action and some silence. There'll be a link in the description. Prebz goes for this a little bit more than a min raise, 2.1 blinds. The queen, 3 bets to 5.5. We also got internet on the final table with this big ass stack. European, Pampa, Chris, I attack. Dimsy, high risk. That rounds out the players here as Prebz will rip it all in. Quick call from the queens, and we got a big flip. Any ace, king, or some backdoor spades, they don't come, but the ace on the river does. Wattenlo says, for fuck's sakes. Oh, and they're down to about 19 blinds European with a king and a queen. Might think about ripping it in. 9 blinds for European. They do elect to stick it in, and they should probably get this through pre. They got about a $1,500 bounty on their head. Everybody's holdings are just shit, though. Internet, the well-rested individual with a 3 and a 6 under the gun. We'll take a second before folding. Ace king for Chris. They'll come in for the open off the big 57 blind stack. Prebz in the big with the newfound stack. 31 blinds. We'll just let go of the bullshit holding. Ace 8 suited for Wattenlos from early position. We also see high risk with the king jack suited. Wattenlos does open it up. 6-5 suited for I attack. Do we just let that go? They'll think about calling first. They do stick in a call. High risk says let's go to the flop with a 3 bet. 9 blinds to go. 8.5. 3 bets coming in. Go in the tank. High risk says what size? 8.8. That's my final guess. 6.7. That is way too small. I mean, it will get Wattenlos out of there, and I attack with 6-5 suited. I suppose finds the fold, but we've got plenty of chips behind. We could always see 3 cards. We do. 4-4-2. Both players with the backdoor flush draw. I attack with a straight draw to the 3. Checks it on over. High risk says, oh boy, what did I get myself into? 18 blinds in the middle. They do have that pre-flop aggression, so they're going to take a stab on the flop for about 7.5 blinds. I attack didn't want to see that size. Let me tell you, no, they didn't. If they check raise, that'd be cool. Not likely. Don't have to make it too large. I attack goes in the tank. They do find the call. 7 on the turn. That's another straight draw for I attack to the 8. 6, 5, 3, or an 8. I attack could win this huge ass pot. High risk picks up a flush draw. King high still best. And again, had we just 3-bet bigger pre-flop, we would have taken the pot down. Here we are betting 11 blinds into 33. I attack might be coming off to the river. Weird spot. All in from I attack, and now what do? We got 77%. Do we find the fold on the turn here? 27 blinds behind. High risk is certainly living up to their name. I attack as well. And the king jack hits the muck. Beautiful play by I attack using that big stack just to climb into first place position. I guess they're just behind internet, but the jack and the jack will come in for the open. Dimsy with the ace and a king. They'll come in for the 3 bet. 6.5 blinds is the size. I attack will think about a 4 bet. We might just land on the call option though. We do see that $2,600 bounty. It is enticing to go for it. Queen 8-5 flop as I attack calls pre. Backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, 2 overs. Dimsy bets 5 blinds, about a 3rd pot. Jack calls. Deuce on the turn. No flush draw for Dimsy. No straight draw. Just down to 2 overcards, an ace or a king. I wonder about a big bet. Nah, sizing up the river is just weird. We gotta go for the smaller size, 8.5 blinds into 26. I attack will probably call once again. King on the river, there you go, Dimsy. 43 blinds will slide your way. Question is, can you get the last 29 in there profitably? I attack, likely to fold to Jack, Jack. Dimsy will try with an all-in. Did we ever just check it back because of the situation? Look, we cover high risk, cover Wattenlos, Pampa, European. Dimsy says I'm all in. No jam will get through. King for Dimsy. Pampa with a king 9 under the gun will let that go. I attack. In second place position with the queen 10. Oh, we'll come in for the open. Dimsy 3 bets again to 6.5 blinds. I attack, much more likely to let this one go. And they do. So we had quite the action to start this bad boy off. Prebz with a flip against Wattenlos, and Prebz doubles up. What else happened? Dimsy with the ace king versus I attacks jacks. 6-5 suited for I attack. It was a little bit of a bully versus high risk. Was a queen 10 suited and is thinking about a call here. Don't think we 3-bet in this situation too often with this holding anyways. Queen 10 does just hit the muck and Dimsy gets a raise through pre. Blinds go up. Bad news for the short stacks, good news for the table. Queen jack for I attack will raise under the gun. Chris in the big with a king 4-0 will let that go. So we got 20k for the victor. That's good to note. In the I think it's a 2k. Yeah, 2k PKO. So not too big of a victory, but we do got lots of bounties out there for these players. Ace king for European, 5-5 for internet. We get the internet open. European will happily rip it in. Didn't see if Prebz, high risk, or Dimsy folded an ace or a king. Looks like European has plenty of live outs. Pampa with the jack and a 10 folds a couple of the Broadway cards. We get an ace on the flop. We're going to see a diamond. Nope. Just the 5, and internet does not find it. So we get a survive for European, winning the flip there. 9-9 for Chris. They'll come in for the open on the button and likely get it through pre. Interesting to see what size they go for. Just a min raise on the button here. 9-3 for Dimsy folds the big. What's going on here? Jack 9 for European. That's nothing. I'll let that go. 6-9 for I attack on the button. We'll have the snap fold button clicked. 8-7 for Dimsy in the small will raise and take it down pre. They elect to rip it in. The jam gets through. 5-5 for European. We'll find the fold from early position. 9-5 for Dimsy on the button. We'll open it up. Prebz with the queen 7 suited. In the big blind, we'll see a flop. Prebz plays call. King 9-4 flop. One club out there for Prebz with some backdoor straight draws. Right? No, just jack 10. Dimsy with that pair of 9s will bet at 1.5 blinds. If I'm Prebz, I just get out of the way here. Prebz might check raise, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. They do just fold. Couple of ducks for Chris. Prebz with the king jack in the small blind. Chris lets go with a pocket pair. I attack with 5-2 suited. Will fold. King jack for Prebz. 20 blinds. Do we rip it in? Prebz says no, we limp. We got a couple of shorties out there. Internet with the 4-3 suited sees the queen 10-5 flop. No clubs for internet, but an open ender for Prebz. 3 in a row for internet. They can get a free turn if they want it, or they could elect to put in a blind, and they do stick in the blind. Prebz will play call. I don't know if we want to juice the pot right now. 6 on the turn, so both players are open-ended. Internet needs a 7, a 4, a 3, or a 2. King jack for Prebz is still best. Lots of hearts out there. Neither player with a heart. Prebz checks. Internet bombs away overbet. 6 blinds with only 18 for Prebz behind. This looks way too big, but it might get the job done. Nicely done by Internet. Just price Prebz out of the pot there. King Jack for Pampa and 11 blinds. They just pass on the spot. Queen 3 for Internet. Might rip it all in here. Look to buy the pot pre. No, they make it 2.7 blinds. That'll still get the job done. European with the Jack 6-0. Sometimes we see a flop, but I don't think in this situation when we got Wattenlos with 10 blinds at 11 for Pampa. European off 15 just needs to preserve every penny. Ace 3 suited for him in the small blind. Dempsey with a couple of 4s might open it up. 2.3 blinds is the open size. Yeah, I think it just gets through pre. European will fold the ace and the 3. They could always 3-bet. Make it like 4.9 blinds. It would work too. Dempsey with a couple of 4s. Nah, European just reasonably folds. King for Chris will raise under the gun, and looks like they'll get it through pre-flop. Wattenlos with the Queen 8-0 will let that go. King 6 for Pampa doesn't want to see a flop neither. Not too much doing here. Prebz with an ace and a 5 of the same suit. European with the king and a 6 of the same suit. Internet, the big stack with Queen 4 swiftly folds. Ace 5 does come in for the open. 2.2 blinds is the sizing. Chris with 10-9-0 and the big will play call and flop an open-ended straight draw to the 7 or queen. A 10 or a 9 gets the job done, and backdoor clubs. Lots going on for Chris. Prebz with ace high still has the best hand, but I don't think they're likely to win this pot even when they bet 3 blinds. Chris might rip it in and take it down. Does Chris ever call? That's weird. Prebz did size up a turn jam if they want to take it. Chris goes in the tank. Don't think we can fold. They play call, bang off the straight. 7 of hearts on the turn. So Prebz is open-ended to the 4 or 9. This might go check, check. Chris leads all in. Donk jams. And Prebz will find the fold. Easy fold for ace 5. Chris gets it through. Ace 9 for high risk will come in for the open off the 17 blind stack. Into eye attacks, big blind with Jack 7 suited. King Jack for Wattenlos hits the muck. Chris with 9-5 suited lets it go. Jack 7 does call. We get ace 6 4 3 flop. 2 hearts for eye attack with the straight draw to the 5. 2 overcards. The Jack and 7 are clean. Any heart gets the job done, and eye attack leads for 2.2 blinds. High risk might find the call with the overcards. The backdoor nut flush draw. 7 of spades on the turn. Juicy card as there's a one-liner to the 5. Eye attack with top pair. High risk. Nut flush draw faces the jam. 2 overcards. I don't know what to do. Feels like we're priced out of the pot facing the jam. Eye attacks jam might get it through. Any 5 is the straight. 8-5 is the nuts. Is there ever like 9-10 of hearts that does this? Whoa. What about 10-8 of hearts? 10-8 of spades? I would talk myself into a call. We see high risk as about 32%, and again, I might talk myself into the call. High risk correctly finds the fold. Nicely done. Preserves the 12 blinds. They do go for another open with the ace 5 suited. Eye attack with a couple of kings, so high risk is getting punished. Eye attack. Started off with that 6-5 suited, did a great job of getting high risk off the flush draw and all the high equity. Ace deuce comes in for the small 3-bet for internet. King will 4-bet. Question is what size, and I don't see 4-bets here very often. Under the gun raised to 2 blinds. 4.7 blinds is the 3-bet from internet. Do we make it like 11? Do we go smaller? I think bigger is the question, not smaller. 13 blinds. Yeah, bigger was right. Yeah, certainly not smaller. Anyways, I think the 3-bet gets through pre-flop unless internet 5-bets. We don't have to 5-bet large. We could just make it like 26 or less. Internet goes in the tank. Just click it, whatever the button is. Internet lets her go. I attacks. Kings get through pre and puts him in first place. Jack 9 suited for internet will come in for the open from early position. Chris with the king and a queen. They're thinking about playing this some which way. They find a call. Dempsey with an ace 8-0. High risk with an ace 8-0. I might call the big blind here. 9 blinds behind, 1 in the middle. Hard to know. Ace high could be best, but what I'm thinking is if we flop a pair of aces, we just gotta go with it. If we flop a pair of 8s, we gear up to fold. Chris with top pair of kings. Internet checks over the jack and the 9. No flush draw. Picks up a straight draw on the queen turn. So internet's looking for a 10. They don't bet. Chris likely just to put in a half pot size bet here. Lots of draws out there. You could always go for like a 2/3 pot size bet. I just don't think the small bet comes in. 5 blinds into 6.6 and the bet gets through. 5-6 suited for Chris. They might take the hand off. I attack with 5-7 won't. That big stack comes in for the open and they'll take it down pre-flop as there's 2 shorties, 2 shit hands in the blinds. High risk will eventually fold the 5 and the 3. They got a 4K bounty on their head. It's interesting to note. So we got $3,800 for the first player to leave. Wattenlow says that might be me with the 8s. They'll rip it in. Prebz with queen 10 suited and covers for the bounty. The question is, do we take the spot? We can't know it, but we got high equity in this situation. We're flipping. Prebz does some math and finds the fold swiftly. Wattenlow gets one through and they're up to 10 blinds. European with 12 blinds, an ace and a 10 in the big. I attack with another strong pocket pair, queens this time. 5-5 for high risk. Don't do it. Don't do it. They had a big stack at one point. They lost that king jack versus the 6-5. And again, had they 3-bet larger, they would have just taken the pot down pre-flop. High risk would be sitting here with a big ass stack. Ace 10 for European. I don't think we 3-bet all in. I think we just call. Oh, we do 3-bet all in. Europeans in trouble. They need an ace. No straight help on the turn. Just a couple of 9s. And Europeans Gonzo Alonso. Nice bounty for eye attack. Nice pot. 28 blinds slide their way. Looks like blinds go up. Chris with an ace and a 9 will raise it on up under the gun. Pampa in the big with a 5 and a 4 of a not same suit. Does see a 3-bet from eye attack, so they'll have an easy fold. If I'm Chris, I let go of that ace 9 too. Small 3-bet, 5 blinds. Do we 4-bet to 9? Chris says no, we just fold. Ace jack, eye attack will come in for the open. Internet with an ace and a queen. We're not folding. The question is, do we just call? Internet says, yeah, we just call. 10-8 2 flop. Both players with backdoor straight draws. I attack with the backdoor flush draw. 9 on the turn is the juicy card as we both pick up straight outs. 7 or queen for eye attack. No, jack would do, or sorry, the jack would not do, as the internet would make a straight. We get a 9 of diamonds. Looks like ace queen will take down the 6 blinds in the middle. Can you imagine if internet finds a value bet here? Oh, there it is, 2 blinds. If I'm eye attack, I find the call. A check raise would be cool. Oh, how cool it would be. Let's make it about 9 blinds to go. Eye attack just finds the fold. 9-9 for eye attack in the big blind. King queen for Chris in the small. We could see a little bit of fireworks. High risk might stick it in with the ace-6 suited. They're thinking about it. Got 80 seconds to talk this one out. Ace-6 is not ace-5. Just like that, high risk lets her go. Chris with that king and the queen might limp it in. Eye attack will probably raise it up to like 3 blinds, maybe 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 is the size, and then Chris will call. We'll be off to the flop. What if we 3-bet here to 9.5? That would be cool. All in is the size, and a quick call from eye attack. Any king or queen. 86 blind pot and a king on the river. Chris will take that one down. Eye attack is down to 34 blinds. Who was expecting to get that all in pre-flop? Not me, but Chris says a yippity you, yippity ye. Ace and an 8 for internet will come in for the open. Hall of Fame play, no kidding. Trust me, GTO.com. That's funny shit. Eye attack is quite pissed off. Dempsey with the king 7. King queen O rips it in. I am so impressed. I think I retire. Yeah, I give you coaching, no worries. You guys are too good. Chris just can't handle it. Was expecting to see a smaller pocket pair. Leonard is my coach. Pads, the hero. Anyways, 2 pairs for internet. Bets full pot. Dempsey with a pair and a flush draw. 6 on the river is not what Dempsey's looking for. 27 blinds will slide internet's way as they bet the river. Do we ever check it back with 2 pairs? I don't think so. Internet will go for some value. They know they got the best hand. Spades get there. Maybe we check it back. There's the check. 10-7 makes it straight. 5-4 makes it straight. Internet does just check it back with the 2 pairs, and we'll have to swiftly move forward through the break. Was funny to see the chats between eye attack and Chris there. Eye attack very reasonably upset about the situation. They played a great game and they got an ace and a king of the same suit here. They won't get too much action, but they'll come in for a 3-bet. Might make it about 7.5 blinds and take it down pre. No, we go for a bigger size, 9 blinds. Internet swiftly folds the ace. Chris with 8-9-0 says, that's a big 3-bet, yo. I'm going to have to let this go. King queen for internet will come in for the open. No king queen. Eye attack is still cheesed. Prebz with an ace and a jack. Ace jack's all in for Prebz. Looking to hold it on up here. A king or a queen. Spade would do. Nah, internet doesn't find it. Internet's quite pissed off. That's funny to see. Prebz with an ace king. Pampa with the ace 10 will rip it in. 4 blinds. Looking to find a 10 as high risk, folds one in this from the button. Prebz will stick it all in quite ecstatically. $875 on the line here. The question is, does the internet call for a double bounty with the king and the 4 of the same suit? We see they have about 25%. 3 ways, double bounty opportunity. Internet does some math. $2,700 bounty on Prebz' head. It is a 15 blind jam. Internet gets out of the way. Couple of queens and a 6. Any hearts? No, but the ace on the river will make top pair for Prebz' top kick. Excuse me. And we lose Pampa. Ace jack for eye attack. Prebz with an ace and a 5 of the same suit. Eye attack comes in for the open. So we get a couple shorties, Watt and Los with 5 blinds, 6-4 in the big. High risk with an 8 and a 6, 4.5 blinds. They will eventually fold. No, Prebz could always 3-bet all in. That would be cool to see. Do we ever make it like 5 blinds? Something small? Prebz plays call with Watt and Los in the big blind. $1,800 bounty will get out of the way. Queen Jack 2 flop. No spade for Prebz, but the backdoor straight draws. Prebz will think about a little bet and probably check it back. 7 blinds in the middle. Eye attacks check isn't necessarily weak, but Prebz says we'll put 3 blinds of pressure on eye attack. Get a quick call. Deuce of spades on the turn doesn't help Prebz. No chop pots. This is just eye attacks. 13 blinds will slide their way, providing they don't fold to a Prebz bet. And again, Prebz doesn't have a great reason to, but there's a 5 blinds of value. No, just kidding. It was obviously a bluff. Prebz has ace high, and eye attack folds the pair of jacks, so a little surprised by the action, but nice play by Prebz. 29 blinds for him. King 5 suited from the cutoff might come in for the open. Otherwise, internet's on the button with a 3 and a 2 of the same suit. Prebz actually limps her in. 9-5 for Chris is going to be forced to see a flop. Chris checks it back. Jack 6-6. So no pairs for Chris. They get a free turn. Prebz says, I will make you see 4 cards. Chris says, okay, I got a 9 and a 5, yo. I got this big stack. I'll overbet and take the 3 blinds in the middle. Nice play by Chris. Then they get a couple of 5s. Ace queen for high risk. Looks like they'll be all in. And then Chris, I think we go for bounty by ripping it all in. High risk has a 4K bounty on their head. I attack in the big blind with a $5,400 bounty. I'm just all in for 34 blinds. Internet with a king 8-0. They find the fold. I was going to say things could always get interesting if they play for the pot. Watt and Los with a 9 and a 7 will stick it all in. Go for the bounty. Again, 4K on the line. Not surprised to see Watt and Los stick it in here. There's the all-in from Chris's 5s. So a 9 and a 7 would be cool. Instead, we see a bunch of queens. A 9 or a 7? No, Watt and Los is gone. High risk wins a 14, almost 15 blind pot. So we lose Watt and Los in 7th with the 9 and the 7. Chris gets the bounty with a couple of 5s. High risk gets a triple up with the ace and the queen. 15 blinds for him. They'll just move along in last place position. 9-5 for Chris will find the fold. Queen 10 versus Jack 10 in the blinds, Dempsey says. Internet says something in another language about the 9-7. Anyways, pair of queens for eye attack. Sees an ace on the turn. Dempsey with a straight draw to the king.
Bye, dog.
Oh, hey kitty. 7 on the river. No straight for Dempsey. No pair. Eye attack. Bets 2 blinds and they'll take the pot down. Ace queen for Chris. Queen 8 for Prebz under the gun, thinking about an open. They just fold. Chris will open it up and we'll see if high risk plays call. I don't think so, but maybe. No, they do land on the call and flop top pair. Chris with 2 overcards, a backdoor straight draw. 5 blinds in the middle. Chris bets 1.3. High risk could jam to protect their equity. They could also just play call and see a turn. They rip it in with 75% and get the jam through. Internet with the king queen suited will come in for the open. Not much doing for anybody else. The raise gets through pre-flop. Ace king for Chris will open. 5-5 for internet, and the big blind will play call. 10-9 3-flop goes check. I don't know. Bet call. Chris bets 1.3 blinds. Do get a call. 6 on the turn. Chris checks her back. Jack on the river. Pretty boring shit. 8 blinds will slide internet's way. Chris doesn't have a great reason to bet again. They'll just show down the ace and the king and lose. Blinds go up. Queen jack for internet in the small. Excuse me. 2-5 for Chris in the bigs. He's a limp. Cool situation could happen if Chris raises it up. They elect to check it on back. Ace king 3-flop goes check. Or sorry, bet. Straight draw to the 4 for Chris. Feels like we have to call the blind. We'll be off to the turn. 5 of hearts. So the heart draw completes. 2-4 makes a straight. It's a limp pot. Internet probably won't have it. 10 on the river, so internet makes Broadway. 5 blinds in the middle will slide internet's way. Chris probably shouldn't put any pennies in the middle. Internet will bet like 3 blinds and take it down. 4.1 is the size. If I'm Chris, I'm a little curious, but I don't think for long. Nah, yeah, we just gotta let it go. Nice fold by Chris. Ace jack for eye attack. Eight 5 for internet will come in for the open on the button. Ace jack will call. Eye attack in 4th place. Could always 3-bet and take the pot down pre-flop. They're sizing it up. 6 blinds to go, dealer. All in is the size for my attack. 28 blinds to go, and internet swiftly folds 8-5 suited. Nothing doing for anybody. Dimsy gets a walk with a 7-3-0. Ace 8 suited for eye attack. King 9 suited for high risk in the big blind. We'll get an open from them eventually. Chris with the 4-7-0 is thinking about nothing. Ace 8 raises. High risk, might 3-bet all in. No, we got way too big of a bounty. We got a call here. Right? Yeah, we just got a call. Ace, jack, 9 flop. High attack bets a blind. And high risk without a spade with the backdoor straight draw in the bottom pair. Says, oh, I'm getting juiced here, aren't I? If we find the fold, that's nice. We stick in a raise to 2.8 blinds trying to buy the pot. I don't know if it works. If I'm eye attack, I do think about folding though. 1.8 blinds to call into about 10. Oh, what a bad spot for ace 8 of hearts. All in is the play by eye attack, and they take it down. King 8 for eye attack. They'll come in for the open and take it down pre. Doopity-doo, doopity-doo. Excuse me. King 8 for Chris with the big stack. We'll open it up. Preps with an ace and a jack. Looks like a 3-bet from the small blind. All in, dealer. Pretty well all in. 13 blinds is the size, and Chris will get out of the way. Find the fold with the king 8. Couple of ace 8s out there, a couple of king highs, a lot of it will fold. Eye attack opens their ace 8 under the gun. Chris with the ace 8 and the big blind will call. We could always 3-bet, which would be cool to see. Just put some pressure on eye attacks wide open. No, we're just going to the flop. 10-5-4, 2 spades for Chris. Gets a free jack of hearts on the turn. If Chris leads, they'll take the pot down. No, we just are probably checking this one down to the river, and if we don't improve, we aren't betting, I don't think. I wonder if I attack can get the pot with a bet. 1.7 blinds. We'll see if Chris elects to come along to the river. Just play a guessing game with the ace high. Do it, Chris. Nah, they let her go. I attack will win the great battle of the ace 8 O's. Ooh, a couple of ace kings of the suited varieties. We'll see 50 blinds go in the middle, most likely. Does Chris ever call from the small? Playing 50 blinds deep. I think we 3-bet. I think internet 4-bets. Does internet ever call? Something tells me somebody doesn't want to get this pot all in, or these cards all in pre-flop. Just because we have high risk sitting there with 9 blinds, but ace king suited is so strong. So if I'm internet, I rip it in, and if I'm Chris, I call. I guess internet can make it about 19 blinds instead of ripping it all in. Then Chris will jam from the small blind. Oh, okay, a little bit smaller, sorry. 17.7 blinds is the 4-bet. And then Chris will just simplify playing out a position with the ace-king suited by ripping it in. Covering internet for the bounty. Internet snap calls. Put a club out there. No, we're just chopping the pot. Queen 9 and a couple of... Sorry, Queen Jack for high attack and the small 9-9 for Dimsey in the big. We see an internet open with the King 8-0. Does eye attack call? They do. Does 9-9 rip it in for Dimsey? Yes, it does. 28 blinds in the middle. And eye attack folds the Queen Jack. King 8 for internet. Swiftly hits the muck as well. Ace King for high risk in the big. We'll see a double up some which way. No, just kidding. We don't know that. High risk with about 8.5 blinds. We'll rip it in facing the internet open. Dimsey could always call from the small with King 10-0. They do. Ace King will rip. 4K bounty on the line. Does internet rip it all in for 30 blinds? 3 in a row. Oh, credit. Whoa. Internet knows this open should get no respect. High risk is all in. Internet does some math. Finds the fold. Dimsey with 25% finds the call, looking for a 10. Just a 10 dealer. We get a queen on the river. High risk gets the full double. 20 blinds for them. They're back in the game. Couple of jacks for internet will come in for the open. 10-10 for Dimsey's in trouble. If I'm them, I rip it in. 24 blinds in position. We could always call. No, we 3-bet the 5.5 blinds. The internet will rip it in and we'll quickly call with the 10s. And we'll cry. Right. I think Dimsey's just Gonzo Alonzo. There's the all-in. Quick call from the 10s, and they've got about a 10. They've got a 10. Dealer. 4 on the river, don't fucking matter. Internet have a boat. Dimsey with the better boat takes it on down. 50 blinds for him. Whoo, just like that. Dimsey in second place position with 50 blinds. Jack 3 suited will come in for the open. This is beautiful shit. They take it down pretty. Queen Jack for Dimsey will open it up. And 5-3 for Chris in the big. Might just find the fold. 10-10 for eye attack. Aces for preps. Internet folding a 10 is bad news for eye attack. This will probably get in pre-flop. $31 to $100 bounty on Prebs' head. They come in for the 2.1 blind open. Chris could always call from the small with the 7-6 suited. They do. They do find a call. 10-10, 3 bets. Do we just call? I attack, call. Then we'll see a king high board and they can get away from their 10s. Don't. They 3 bets 9 blinds. So Prebs will happily stick it all in with the ace and the ace, the best holding in poker. I attack with 1 out, with 110 remaining. They're going to need some straight help or some diamonds or some shit. We don't see... Oh, straight help, 6 or a jack. We don't find it, 7 on the river. I attack is down to 17 blinds after playing a damn good game. They're in last place. Prebs, after playing a very strong game, getting a very strong ace-ace. Wins a nice pot. They're up to 42 blinds, 45 blinds, sorry. Did I say 42? I said 42. They have 45 blinds. Then we got this interesting 3-way battle brewing. Dimsey with the 8-4 suited comes in for a 3-bet from the big blind. Trying to push Prebs around. Juice in the pot, pre-flop out of position. With a playable 8-4 suited, and the 3-bet gets through pretty nicely done. Queen for high risk, shouldn't get too much action. Jack 6 for Dimsey. If we jam, high risk snap calls with over 80%. We see a 3.5 blind open. Every once in a while you want to flick in a call with this strong pocket pair. I don't know about the queen. King probably likes it, and aces like it more. Queen probably are not a huge fan of calling. We do see a 3-bet to just under 7 blinds from the queens. And Jack 6 will fold. Ace 9 for internet. 24 blinds. They come in for the open. Jack 9 for Chris. We'll let that go. 5-4 for Prebs in the big blind. Prebs plays call. King 9 2 flop. Middle pair for internet. Backdoor straight draw. Backdoor flush draw for Prebs. 5 high, very likely to fold facing the small bet on the flop. If Prebs chucks in a check raise, that'd be cool. Not gonna happen this time. King Jack for internet in the big blind. Prebs with the 10 and a 6 in the small. Might raise. 3 blinds. Try to take it down pre-flop. Internet. What do we do? Call? Well, we face a limp. Internet limps. Or sorry, Prebs limps it in with a 10 and a 6. Internet might juice it up. Make it 3.5 blinds to go, and then Prebs will quickly fold. Internet could always check it back and just see a flop. Ace Jack 5. That's a pair for internet. Backdoor straight draw for Prebs. It's only 2 blinds in the middle. Prebs checks. Internet might go to the turn for free. If they bet, they'll bet a blind and take the pot down. There's the 1 blind bet and they take it down. King Jack for eye attack with the short stack. Big bounty on their head. They'll raise 2.1 blinds. Dimsey folds an ace. King Jack for high risk will probably fold. Prebs with an ace will probably fold. Queen highs will hit the muck as well. Queen deuce for Chris in the big blind. A 3-bet would be cool. Doesn't make much sense, but we do. Excuse me. We land on the call. Queen 8 4 flop. Chris with the toppest of pairs. I attack with 3 in a row. We'll bet small. 1.4 blinds. Chris will call them. We'll see a turn card. A deuce locks up the board for Chris, making top and bottom pair. I attack might be pissed off from earlier, but they are not winning this pot no matter what they do. They bet 3 blinds. Chris, I think we call and let I attack blast off. We could always just jam it in. Chris does a little think over. Now they're probably gonna rip. They stick in 14 blinds all in. And I attack gets out of the way. Ace and a jack for Prebz will come in for the open eye attack with a 9 and a 7 in the big blind. 6 blinds behind, 1 in the middle. I think we have to call 1 pre-flop. Chris might also call 3-2 suited. Just goes call, call, and we're off to the flop. I attack could always fold and look to preserve their chips, but 6 blinds behind. I think we have to see a flop. Ace, jack, 9. Oh, I think 9-7 can fold facing a bet from Prebz. I think so. Chris with 3 and a 2. No backdoor flush draw. No flush draw. No backdoor straight draw in there. Sees a 2.75 blind bet. And Chris and I attack quickly fold. Ace queen for high risk. Internet with a couple of kings. That ace queen is suited and booted. High risk will happily get this in pre-flop. 4K bounty could be on the way to internet. We don't see any aces folded, so that's good news for high risk. They'll at least have 3 clean outs. Facing a small 3-bet to 5 blinds, we'll rip it in. Internet will snap call. Snappity snap. High risk, we'll rip it in. Do we have our call here? 17 blinds. No, it's just too small of a stack. We have to rip it in, protect our equity. We're gonna need a heart or a jack. Heart on the river. Internet flops top set. King 7-2 flop. Goes a runner, runner, hard, heart, and internet is down to 5 blinds. That's a damn shame. 8-2 suited for Chris will limp it on in from the cutoff. 9-8 suited for Dimsy. We'll raise to 4.5 blinds, and high risk will get rid of that King 3 suited. I suppose Chris will fold the 8-2 suited as well. What's going on here? I attack with a 10 and a 7 and 4 blinds. We'll have to let that go. High risk with an ace and a 2 in the small. They limp it on in. Prebz checks back the 8 and the jack and flops the toppest of pairs. High risk with the backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw, an overcard. High risk checks, Prebz checks, King of Hearts on the turn, so high risk does pick up a little bit of equity with the hearts. But I mean, there's 2 blinds in the middle, so who really cares? What internet would really care? I attack would also have a lot to say about those 2 blinds in the middle. Prebz and high risk both don't care. Oh, soup. Thank you. So looks like internet asks who's gonna bust next between I attack and them. I attack says neither one of us. Prebz bets the pair of jacks, gets a call from the ace high. King all on the river, pairs the board. Prebz will go for another value bet. Small one at that. 2.5 blinds. Oh, no, 4.44. If I'm high risk, I might flick in a call. 7, 8, 7, 4, 3, 4. Queen 10, 10, 9, 10. Ace. All these straight draws miss. Any single hard hand and high risk correctly finds the fold with the ace high. Nicely done. Dimsy with a 9-6 suited will come in for the open. Internet in the big blind with a jack and a 3. 4 blinds will let that go. King 6 2 flop. So Prebz has top 2 pair. Dimsy with the middle pair backdoor flush draw. Bets about 2 blinds into about 6. Prebz plays call 8 on the turn. Dimsy should slow down. On the river. 10 blinds will slide Prebz' way. I don't think Dimsy puts any more in the middle. Prebz bets 7.3 and the bet gets through. Ace and a jack for Chris in the big blind. Ace 5 for Prebz. We got a limp from the king 9. Ace 5 calls for Prebz. Internet calls the small with a 6 and a 5. Chris the biggest stack. Rip it in. Making an all-in sizing. And take it down. No, we can make it smaller. 6.5 blinds is the size, and Chris will get it through pre. Prebz has the very playable ace 5 of clubs. 5.5 blinds to call. They do find it. Internet lets go with a 6 and the 5. Jack 7-7 flop. The board is locked up for Chris. Unless it goes runner 7-7 or ace ace. 7 ace also gets the job done. Prebz is just not winning this pot. They'll chop it up every once in a while. Very unlikely. Chris bets and takes the pot down. Jack 10 for eye attack in the big blind. Sees a limp from high risk with the 9-7-0. Prebz will come along with king 4 suited. Chris with ace 8. Might think about raising and then eye attack will stick it in. No, Chris just limps this time. Eye attack will rip it in for 3.6 blinds instead of just seeing the flop for free. Now I don't know what to do from here. I had a lot of high risk. We'll do a little bit of math. Does it ever just go call, call, call? Not likely. There's one call. Does it just go call, call, call? Prebz calls. Chris out of position with an ace. Do we ever make it like 15 blind? No. 12? No. 11? 12. All in is the size from Chris. And they will isolate the bounty here. Prebz will fold the king 4 suited. Ace on the flop is all good news for Chris. No outs for eye attack. And they're donezo. So just like that, we're down to 5 players. Boppity boo. Queen jack for Prebz. Chris has this big stack, yo. 5 and a 5. They play call 8-7-3 flop. Prebz with 2 overs, a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. They bled 4 blinds. If I'm Chris, I'm pretty willing to let go of my 5s here. And Chris does find the fold. Blinds go up. Internet with 2 blinds and an ace and a queen. They'll stick it all in. And what happens for the bounty here? Chris might raise. No, we just call. Prebz will call the big blind with queen 7-0. 9-8-7 flop. Backdoor flush draw for internet. Prebz with a pair of 7s. Chris with top pair of 9s. Internet's in real trouble here. They need an ace. They need Prebz to fold so that queen becomes a live out. Instead we get it all in on the flop. 10 of diamonds on the turn. So straight for Chris. Internet with a straight draw and a flush draw. A diamond or a jack will do. 6 is not a chop pot, but a jack is. No, it's not. Sorry, internet wins it with the queen. Fuck me. Prebz. Sorry, the jack is the chop pot between Prebz and the internet. Holy shit, I just stumbled all over this hand. Chris bets 5.4 blinds. Now if I'm Prebz, I find the fold. Still have that straight draw with the pair. Flush completes, we're out of there. 5 on the river. Internet is Gonzo Alonzo in 5th place. Chris gets a bounty, and we're down to 4. Poppity boo. Queen jack for Dimsy will open it up. Prebz with a couple of 8s. Prebz thinking about a 3-bet here. 4-handed 8-8 is pretty strong. They actually just land on the call option. Chris in the big blind with a 4 and a 5. They'll play call as well. 8-7-5 flop. Top set for Prebz. Straight draw and a pair for Chris. This could be a big pot. Dimsy with 2 overs in position. We'll check it back, I think. Chris is thinking about a lead here. 6.5 blinds in the middle, and they bet half pot. Top set calls, 10 on the turn. $13 blinds in the middle. Chris goes in the tank. Chris bets another 8 blinds. Prebz says, yay. What do we do now with our set? We might just call. There's a lot of bad rivers. They might just let Chris blast off, though. Look, he's betting with a pair of 5s and a straight draw to the 6. Chris has 9%, and they get out of the way. King 6 for high risk will open it on up from the cutoff, being suited and booted, and they get a through pre. King jack for Chris. King for Dimsy. Do we see some action here? Chris will raise the button. Dimsy will 3-bet the small blind. The question is, does Chris 4-bet? Would be a big bluff. Certainly not for value. If Dimsy rips, we can fold. 7 blinds is the side from Dimsy. Chris could always call as well. I think a 4-bet's coming in though. There's the all-in with about 10%, and Chris has about 18 blinds. They find no straight help on the turn. 70 blinds will slide Dimsy's way. Just like that, Chris is down to 18 blinds, last place position, 5-6 suited. Dimsy raises it up high risk with an ace and a queen from the small blind. Might 3-bet and take it down pre-flop. They jam, and they do. King 8 for Chris in the big blind. 8-10 for Dimsy, raises the cutoff. Jack 8 for Prebz in the small. We had a raise and a call and a Chris fold. Queen, Jack 9 flop. That's a straight versus a pair. Dimsy with a flush draw to go along with their straight. They bet a little bit more than half pot, 3.5 blinds into 5.5. Prebz finds the call, 7 on the turn. As the 7. Dimsy's straight gets longer. Prebz has no reason to continue. 12 blinds in the middle will slide Dimsy's way as Prebz finds the fold button facing the 10 blind bet. 40 blinds for Prebz sitting in second place. We gotta preserve our pennies there. Queen 7 suited on the button. Looks like an open. 2.2 blinds is the size by Prebz. Jack 4 for Dimsy will hit the muck. Or 3-bet to 8 blinds and take it down pre-flop. That works too. Was not expecting that. King 8 for Chris on the button. We'll raise. Jack 7 for high risk in the big blind. We'll find the fold. Dimsy with the 8-5 suited in the small. I don't think we're playing. King 8 just hits the muck, so Dimsy will raise and take it down. Nope. Raise? Yeah, raise and take it down pre. Don't know why I thought the Jack 7 was going to be a play. Jack 10 for Dimsy this time round. And a couple other Jack highs. Prebz in the big with a Jack 8. We're not suited. Hi, kitty. Jack 8 still has got the playability. Prebz says we'll just fold and preserve our chips. Queen 8 for high risk. We'll raise the button. Prebz in the small with a queen and a jack plays call. Chris with a jack and a 5 of the same suit in the big blind also comes along to the ace 10 8 flop. So Prebz looking for a king or a 9. A jack works as well. High risk with a pair of 8s. Oh boy, flop goes check, check, check. Nope. High risk bets 2.6 blinds into 6.5. Get a call from the straight draws. Deuce on the turn is a brick. High risk with that pair of 8s. We'll think it through. 11, almost 12 blinds in the middle. They check it back. 3 of diamonds on the river. I'm just thinking, does Prebz ever find a way to talk himself into a check here? They say no, I think we have to bet. 4.7 blinds into 11.7. High risk with the flush blocker. And the pair of 8s. I don't know what to do. Do we just fold? I think so. Think we just fold. No, we jam it all in. What a play by high risk, and they'll take it down with the pair of 8s. This isn't for value, this is a bluff. Prebz lets go of the worst of it with the queen and the jack. 9-7 for Prebz. Chris with the queen and a 3. 10-2 for Dimsy. Get a raise from the button and a take it down pre. Ace 3 for Chris. Ace king for Dimsy. Uh-oh. There's a world where Chris rips it in. Excuse me. There's a world where Chris rips it in here with 13 blinds. Prebz folded a 3. Dimsy will happily rip it all in for the 7.5 grand bounty. Chris sees a king on the flop. Pretty well dead. No help on the turn. Jack of hearts. And Chris has gone to Alonso in 4th place. So Dimsy gets that big ass bounty. 92 blinds, an ace and a queen. Looks like high risk and Prebz are fighting for second place. Prebz calls with the queen 7. King 8 3 flop. Dimsy bets 1.6 blinds. Prebz gets out of the way with the queen 7. A couple of 4s for high risk will come in for the open. Dimsy with the king 7 will call and flop a pair of 7s. Queen 9, 7 flop goes check. If I'm high risk, I'm pretty done with this pot. King on the turn, I'm pretty done with this pot with the 4s. Dimsy with top and bottom pair will bet and take it down on the turn. What size do we go? 4.2. Alright, that's a big bet, yo. And the 4s hit the muck. Ace queen for Prebz will come in for the open. High risk with a 7-6 in the big blind. We might be able to see a flop here. We do. 8-8-6. 2 overs, a backdoor flush draw for Prebz. High risk with that pair of 6s in the backdoor straight flush draw. She's a 1.5 blind bet. Check raise from high risk. If I'm ace queen, I float once. We'll see what the turn brings us. Jack of clubs. Looks like we're off to the river. High risk might check here. Or do we bet small? Do we bet large? Nope, we just check. Prebz says, okay, I guess we put in a little bet here. Size up the river jam if we want it. No, we don't. We just check it down. 7 on the river. High risk improves to 2 pairs, 8s and 7s with a jack kicker. And they'll still take down the 12 blinds in the middle, providing they don't fold. High risk checks. Prebz checks. And the pairs for high risk will take down the 12 blinds, of course. Blinds go up. Looks like we got a break to skip through. A7 for high risk. A7-5 for Prebz. Queen 9 for Dimsy. Dimsy raises the button. We get a 3-bet from the small blind. A7 likely takes it down pre. Dimsy gets out of the way. Ace 8 for Dimsy in the big blind. Jack 6 for high risk. On the button, we'll just let that bad boy go. 9 queen for Prebz, 14 blinds. They might want to play this holding sometimes, but not with that short stack. They just find the fold. 3-4 for Dimsy will raise to 3.5 blinds. And Jack 4 for high risk will just fold. Jack 6 suited, Dimsy will raise. That Jack 10 will hit the muck, and 10-3 of course is just a fold pre. High risk could always go for another wide 3-bet, which would be cool to see. I don't know if we're playing call here with Jack 10-0. No, we're just going to let it go. King 2 suited for high risk. Ace 8 for Prebz in the small blind. We see a button raise. Prebz might... What do we do? Ace 8-0. We got 12 blinds. 13 with the half a blind in the middle. 3K bounty on the line, and Prebz lets her go. 3-6 will call the big blind. We get an A7-6 flop. Bottom pair for Dimsy. Not much doing for high risk. Just that king, you know. Looking for the king. We see a 6 on the turn, locking up the board for Dimsy. It's a diamond. The diamond's complete. No real reason for high reward. Or high risk, sorry, to hang in there. Dimsy bets and takes a pot down. King 10 suited for Dimsy in the small blind. Playing 30, 2 blinds effective. Will come in for a limp, okay. Thought we were going to stick to the raising game plan. Dimsy says, no, we'll switch it up. High risk sticks in the raise with Jack 4-0 to 3.3 blinds. Dimsy calls. We get an ace king 8 flop. High risk with the backdoor straight draw. Dimsy with that second pair. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. 7 blinds in the middle. High risk bets 2.3. That's not going to get the job done. Dimsy will come along to the turn card. They play call, deuces, spades. It does complete the front door flush. So we'll see if Dimsey gets the pressure put on them. Jack 4, no spade, no reason to bet, but we do see 11 blinds in the middle and we want them, but high risk checks it back. 7 of hearts on the river, likely checks down. Dimsey's thinking a little bit of value. No, they just check it on over to high risk. And they give up the bluff. Nice little pot for Dimsey. 11 blinds slide their way. Picking a few off of high risk. Jack 6 suited. Dimsey raises and takes it down pre. Not much doing here. 4-3. Prebz folds the small and Dimsey gets a walk. Ace deuce for high risk in the big blind. 4-4 for Dimsey. Rips it all in. And the ace folds pre. High risk says I need to make some dollars first. Ace queen suited will come in for the open 9. 8 suited for high risk in the small blind. This is a hand again we could always call. Prebz in the big blind has 9.5 behind. High risk just lets her go. And no action for the ace queen. 10-6 suited, high risk will find the fold. Prebz with the queen and a 7. For chips we could rip it in and try to take it down pre-flop. There's a big bounty on her head so we might get called, so I don't know what to do here. Raise to 2.4 blinds and we'll get the raise through pre. Nicely done by Prebz. Jack 9 on the button, Prebz folds. 10-2, Dimsey just lets her go. 10-5 for Dimsey. They just let it go. 8-6 for high risk. Prebz with a couple of ducks in the big blind. We could see a jam. And then Prebz folds, maybe? No, we get a limp. And does Prebz rip it in with the pocket pair? Yes, they do. And they take it down pre. Queen 10 for Dimsey. And the big blind might just get a walk here as Prebz got an 8 and a 5 in the small. And they let her go. 9-7 suited for both high risk and Prebz. Dimsey with an ace in the small rips it in for 23.5 blinds and takes it down. Ace 8 for Dimsey. I wonder when we start to rip our button. Ace 8 seems like a fair holding to do it with, and Dimsey does just elect to rip it in and take it down pre-flop. 10-8 suited for Dimsey, likely to get a walk again, and they do. Poppity boo. 2-4 for high risk, real bullshit holding. Dimsey will likely raise and take it down pre. 3.5 blinds is the size and they elect to go with this time. 4-4, Dimsey rips the button. High risk with a king and a jack will probably have to fold. That sucks. I guess that's why Dimsey's ripping it in. Just takes away the playability from high risk, who has an ace on the button here. Probably wants to come in for the open. They do for 2 blinds, and Dimsey plays call with 5-3 suited. King Jack 2 flop. Backdoor straight flush draw for Dimsey. High risk, bets small and takes the pot down. Ace and a jack for Dimsey in the small. Raises 3.5 blinds. High risk with 8-6-0. What do you know? They're gonna let it go. Yeah, they just find the fold pre-flop. Ace 5 for high risk. We'll rip it all in for about 7 blinds and take it down. Prebz with a jack and a 9 in the small blind. 9-6 for Dimsey in the big. Sees the all-in. Doesn't call it off for the bounty. Prebz gets it through. Ace jack for Prebz looks like another all-in off 7 blinds. And Dimsey with a jack and a 9 of the same suit will think about calling. Probably find the folds. No, they didn't even think about it. They just had the snap fold on. King for Dimsey. Ace 3 suited for Prebz. We could see this get in pre. 8 blinds behind for Prebz. Dimsey does see the all-in and a snap call. We're looking for an ace or some backdoor diamonds. None of that with the 4 of spades on the turn. 6 of diamonds on the river. Does not complete any flush. Prebz has 4 diamonds and ace high. Just like that, they're gone. So Alonso, Dimsey versus high risk. Heads up. 4K bounty on high risk's head. $7,800 on Dimsy's head if high risk can find a way to pick back at Dimsy's stacking to get the job done. King Jack sees a 2 blind raise. Do we call? No, high risk will rip it all in and take it down pretty. Dimsy folds the 6 and the 3. 4-3 for high risk. Limps it in. 5-2 for Dimsy. Checks her on back. King 10-10 flop. Goes check. Well, looks like we're going to talk out a deal maybe. How do we talk out a deal when it's all chopped up already? It's 24K a piece. Deal cancelled, of course. There's no deal to be made. Whatever. Back at it. Back in the action. I don't know what to say. High risk sees a limp. 7-6 waiting in the big blind. Checks it on back. Picks up a flush draw to the 4 or 8. 9-5-3 flop. Dimsy's open-ended as well to the ace or 6. A deuce would give them the best hand. They see the check raise on the flop to 3 blinds. Get a call. 10 of diamonds on the turn, so both players will still have their straight draws. No pairs for nobody. High risk 7 high is best, but it's hard to know that. They check it on over to Dimsy, who might put in a betski. Dimsy bets 2.7 blinds. A check raise would be so cool on the turn. Check raise the flop, check raise the turn, check raise all in on the turn by high risk, and they take the pot down. Beautiful play. Jack 2 for high risk, ace king suited for Dimsy, sees a limp. Dimsy will raise and likely take it down pre-flop. What size do we go, like 3.5? Oh, and we're disconnected. Bad news for Dimsy. Obviously, it doesn't matter. They got a big-ass stack, yo. But high risk has plenty of fighting chips. 29-30 blinds. 30 blinds is plenty of fighting back room. I don't even know what the fuck to say as we wait for Dimsy to reconnect. How's your day? How's your day going? This one-way conversation is not going too well for me. Anyway, Dimsy, with that ace king again, what size do we go? I think it's 3.5. Sometimes every once in a while, players make it a cute like 3.2, 3.3. And then every once in a while, somebody makes a mistake and they make it like 4.5 and it buys the pot all the time. There's the 3.5x by Dimsy and they take it down. Dimsy with a king and a 6 will raise it on up. High risk with the king 7 suited in the big blind. They play call, jack 7-2 flop. Good news for high risk. They pretty well have the board locked up already. 2.7 blinds will go their way as well as high risk finds the call. You know, I suppose we should wait to see what the turn card brings us. 8 of hearts. Another good card for high risk as they pick up a flush draw. It is an overcard to the 7, which sucks, but a lot of cards are overcards to the 7. So we see the 6 of spades on the river. Turn goes check, check. Both players with a little pair. It would be cool to see high risk bet, I don't know, like half pot. Maybe a little bit bigger. No, they check it on over, and I think Dimsy just checks, and they lose the pot. 10 blinds, slide high risk's way. They get a king 5 suited, they'll raise it on up to 2 blinds. Dimsy with a 4 and a 2 in the bag. This is a hand we can just let go. Dimsy also might stick in a 3 bet, and they find it. 7 blinds to go, 5 to call. High risk likely to hang in there for a call. They flop the fucking nuts. Dimsy sees an ace high board, will bet small, I think, with 3 diamonds out there. I just don't think we have a good reason to bet large. Dimsy bets 5.7 blinds. That's even bigger than I was expecting. Does size up a turn jam. Dimsey very unlikely to take it with no equity here. 6 of clubs on the turn. No straight draw. No nothing for Dimsey. 26 blinds in the middle. Guaranteed to slide high risk's way unless they somehow manage to hit the fold button accidentally. High risk might give him a free river. Or do we bet like 10%? Free river it is, 10 of hearts. So now every once in a while Dimsey just rips it in because they know they can't win at showdown. It's just a nice play by high risk. They don't get the jam. So you know what? I think high risk is going to jam, and I would personally jam. But I think the right play is to bet something stupid small. Try to induce your opponent to rip it in. Oh, yeah, not surprised to see the all-in from high risk with the nuts. And Dimsey, of course, with 4 high will find the fold. But like, if you just bet something really small, like 3 blinds, every once in a while you might induce a bluff out of your opponent. Maybe not somebody super strong on one of these final tables, but maybe on one of the final tables us jabronis play. Anyways, we got a couple of straight draws here. Dimsey looking for a 5, an ace or a 6 for high risk. There's a flush draw out there. We see a small bet and get the ace of hearts on the turn that completes the flush and gives high risk a straight. Not the best card for Dimsey. They check it back and they smack a straight on the river. 5 of spades. Puts a straight on the board. High risk blocks 7-6. We could always see some action as Dimsey does have this straight here. High risk might lead out. 10.5 blinds. Dimsey just likely to call. And they do snap call and see the great news. High risk with 10-4 suited. Queen 10 for Dimsey sees him in raise. They play call, queen 5, 4 flop. Both players with a pair. High risk doesn't have no backdoor flush draw. They're just looking for another 4. A 10 would be a horrific card, obviously. Queen of hearts. A pretty bad card as well, as high risk might feel comfortable with that pair of 4s now as the board pairs. There's flush draws galore. There's straight draws galore. Dimsey bets 1.4 blinds with 3 of a kind, and high risk will at least play call. Jack of clubs comes on the river. It's an over card, but the flush draws and straight draws miss. If I am high risk, I'm going to talk myself into a hero call. As Dimsey bets 10 blinds. Yeah, I'm still going to find the hero call. I don't care. Just kind of one of those hands. Blocking some boats. Blocking... what with a 10? Unblocking bluffs? There we go. That's the words I was looking for. High risk deep in the tank. Would be a very, very nice fold if we're being honest. That jack of clubs is just so irrelevant. Not a heart. Not an 8. Not a 3. Nice fold by the 4s. Unfortunate for Dimsey, but they still got this huge lead. 84 blinds to 20. They come in for the raise with the king 6-0. Queen 9 for high risk will defend with a call. Ace jack 9 flop. Backdoor straight draw. Backdoor flush draw for Dimsey. High risk with the bottom pair of 9s. Backdoor straight draw. We see a bet down a call and the 8 of spades. Dimsey picks up a flush draw. Straight draw for high risk to the 10. Pair of 9s are still best. 10 of spades would be a pretty dirty card, but high risk would probably find a way to get away from their holding, making a straight on a 4 flush board. Or maybe they would call a small bet, but not too many pennies would go in the middle. We get the deuce of hearts, so all that talk was just for nothing. Just some bullshit. I don't know why my brain went to there. To a single card that would come on the river. What does it matter? It checks down. High risk takes a small pot. 6-3 raises the button for high risk. Dimsey with an ace and a 5 in the bag. I would like to see a 3 bet, but I didn't think it was coming in. Dimsey says we're all in and we take it down pre. Jack 3 for Dimsey will raise the button. High risk with an 8 and a 5 in the bag. Is suited and booted. We have to go to the flop with a call. Queen 7 3 flop. Dimsy bet small, 1.4 blinds. High risk will come along, likely with a call. We could always check raise. Check raise comes into 3.7 blinds. That's cool stuff. Dimsy has the backdoor flush draw. Bottom pair of threes. We get the deuce of diamonds on the turn. So no help for high risk. 11 blinds in the middle. They slow down, of course. They've got nothing going on. The pair of threes might feel comfy. I don't know if we want to let high risk have a free river, though. Do we bet something small? No, we give him the free river, 8 of hearts. So high risk makes second pair. They'll take down the 11 blinds in the middle, and not likely to get too many more. They do bet small, though, just under 4 blinds. Dimsy might flick in a hero call. The check on the turn is super curious. What sort of bluffs would there be? Some sort of like Jack 10, Jack 9, 9, 10. Sees an 8 on the river and bets small? Not likely. Dimsy correctly finds the fold as A7 gets through pre for high risk. A7 for Dimsy will limp it in. 5-6 suited for high risk. They rip it all in for 30 blinds. Well, who would have expected this? Can you imagine if Dimsy finds the call? It's just a 60-40 to end the game. A7 for Dimsy has 40 seconds to think this one through. I would probably find the fold if we're being honest. Because it's like a 30 blind jam, and why would we call it off? A7-0. Dimsy goes in the tank here. Limps it on in. 30 blind jam from high risk. I don't get it. The more I say it, the less it makes sense to me. And we get a call from Dimsy. Any 5 or 6 dealer. No chop outs. Just a 5 or 6. We don't find it. High risk says GG, and it was a good game indeed. Dimsy gets the job done. Alrighty, that's the end of the show. So if you made it all the way through, thanks for checking this bullshit out. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Until then, adios amigos, and GG to Dimsy.